What's up guys, it's Claudia. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be taking you guys thrifting with me again today. There are a few trends I've been seeing recently, a few pieces that I'm definitely really into and I want to try to find. So that's what we're gonna look for today. Yeah, let's just head in and let's see what we can find. Okay guys, I'm gonna get right into it because this is a bit of a long video and there's a lot that I want to cover. I went into this thinking, nope, this is going to be like the last section I check out because it's usually the first one, and then I end up finding way too many purses. And naturally I found this Guess one and this 9 West tweed bag, both of which I was obsessed with, and I showed them actually in my recent shorts if you haven't seen that already. But yeah, needless to say, I felt like I needed both of them. Okay, this hat is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. So that's a yes. I think I mentioned in one of my last thrift with me's that I'm not into print, including snake print, but something about this being all silver and just like monochromatic I think actually works really well. I kind of love that. The chain, of course, and the clutch shape is definitely what drew me to it. I'm gonna have to think about that one. This is like the largest clutch I've ever seen. I guess this could be like an under the arm kind of bag, and I think that's actually a very cool style, and it's a nice vintage Guess piece. This seems like a really great spring bag, like spring and summer. Super cute and colorful. I don't think I have enough room for this many bags, guys. By the way, if you've been watching my videos recently, then you'll remember I mentioned I'm going to do a purse collection video very soon. I just feel like I keep finding more and more of them, and it's really hard to pick a point where I'm going to finally stop and show you guys all of my vintage bags, but I promise that's coming soon. In the meantime, I moved on to the shoe section and I found, literally, this was on my list, I found boxing boots, or boxing style boots at least. These Adidas ones were definitely my top pick out of those two, but they ended up being too small on me, which was like such a heartbreaking thing because they were pretty much perfect. They were definitely like a great winter boot still, which I very much appreciate because it has been cold in Toronto recently. I found these shoes again. These were in one of my recent thrift with me's, and I can't believe that somebody hasn't purchased them yet. If they were my size, I literally would have bought them immediately. I also really like these heeled boots that I found. They had the really great Sherpa fold over top. I find that it's pretty hard to find boots that have this sort of detail, and I think the Sherpa just makes them so cozy inside, and also just the look of them on the outside I think is so chic for winter. What do we think of these guys? Are these cute, brown with little bits of color, or are they not cute? I can't really decide. Then I found this really amazing pair of Miss 60 heels, which of course I totally do not need because I have not been wearing tall heels like this anywhere recently, but I was pretty happy to find them. I feel like Miss 60 is still pretty hard to find at the thrift stores, but it's definitely like a trendy kind of Y2k brand. And then I moved on to blazers. The first one that I found was actually this eyelet lace Betsy Johnson blazer, and I thought it had a really interesting silhouette to it, but I wasn't fully sure that it was my style, so I figured I would bring it in my cart and just try it on in front of the mirror. I'll show you guys later what that looked like. I also found this Le Chateau blazer, which is like a satin ruffled trim blazer, and I actually have this exact one in white already, and I really like it. I feel like it's so elegant but such an effortless piece. Next I moved on to the vests, and the first one that really caught my eye was actually this sort of chunky knit, really textured vest, and it's similar to a few pieces that I already own, which is why I didn't really need it, but I definitely like the texture and the color of it. I also thought that this vest was quite nice because of the perforated kind of open knit style of it. And this orange puffer vest also caught my eye. It was in literally perfect condition and it was such a cute piece. I just wasn't sure I would really wear orange. It's like totally not a color that I feel like I've ever worn for some reason. And like looking back, I probably could have figured out a good way to style it, but at the time I wasn't convinced, and I ended up with a full shopping cart anyways, as you guys will see. This light colored Sherpa jacket also really caught my eye. I thought that the sort of trim details on it were really nice. I didn't notice at first that the zipper was asymmetrical, and only when I went to try it on I kind of was debating whether I liked that or not, but it ended up being a really cute piece. You'll see that in the try on. I also found a couple really cool light jackets slash blazers. I thought that this tweed one was kind of nice, and I actually kind of liked that it looked Chanel inspired. It was only Urban Behavior, but it had a bit of a corset fastening at the front, which was kind of different. And since I was already trying on the light Sherpa jacket, I thought I would also try on this y2k 0.0 Sherpa jacket. I feel like the black would obviously be a bit more practical. I also used to own a similar jacket, so I thought why not maybe give it a second chance. It had a bit more of a boxy fit, which you'll see. And I found this Parasuco very chunky sweater with faux fur lining inside, which seemed very, very cozy, but I didn't end up liking the fit of it. I have also really been into wool and tweed skirts like this with a kind of flared ruffled bottom. I just wasn't obsessed with the color of this one, I guess, so I ended up leaving it. Another Miss 60 find, super cute denim skirt. I just already have a million of them. On the other hand, I thought this little tutu situation could be really cute. I actually purchased a similar tulle skirt in more of a blue-green color sometime last year, and I just found, probably because of the color and the style of it, honestly, I didn't end up wearing it at all. I felt like it was a little bit much, whereas I think this black one would just be very, very classic, and I feel like it'd be such a fun styling piece. I can totally picture myself wearing it with something a little bit more sporty, like these track sweaters, track jackets. I love the idea. I think it just makes it so fun and a little bit unexpected. And thankfully on this trip I found so many track jackets to go through, including this orange one, which was honestly such a great piece, except for the fact that it was orange, and obviously I didn't really know how to feel about it again, but it was a really incredible piece. My shopping cart was overflowing, and then I found Burberry, which was just the cherry on top. Guys, this is so bad, but I'm literally finding almost everything on my list today. I think my literal ideal track jacket would be to have the sort of stripe on the side and have rhinestones on the front. Like, how iconic would that be, especially if it was like some sort of amazing Y2K brand. Ugh. I also found this really great tube top with pockets. It was by the brand Jacob Annex, which I found before, and they always have really cool pieces. I feel like they're from like the 90s, early 2000s. I can already picture like a million outfits with it. It's totally giving spring, and I love it. This BCBG hoodie was also a really cool piece, but as you can see, I did not need another one. I found so many pieces on this thrift trip. It was really such a good one. But of course, I had to go and find a Juicy Couture piece, which I feel like is always on my list. If I find a really great juicy piece, I will purchase it. But this one just happened to be very simple. It wasn't really a piece I needed, even though I actually don't own any gray hoodies, so that would have worked for me, I guess. But there was just way too much going on here, and I needed to try everything on. Honestly, I knew that I was going to love the sweatshirt tube top, so I didn't even bother trying that on, but I did want to try on the Burberry sweater. It ended up being a very fitted piece, which I actually really liked. The sleeves were super long, which is my favorite thing ever, as you guys know if you've been watching my videos, and the color was actually really sweet as well. I don't really own any purple in my wardrobe, but I don't know, I thought like the elbow patches really just made it feel like a bit more of like a little girl's sweater. Like, it wasn't really a sweater I needed ultimately, even though I debated really up until the last minute. Here's the Adidas tracksuit, obviously super cute. Yeah, another piece I really debated up until the last minute. The Puma piece, on the other hand, didn't really do anything for me, so at least that made my decision a lot easier. And honestly, same thing happened with the Nike one. It ended up feeling like a little boy's sweater. The sleeves were way too short and it just was not doing anything for me. It was not giving, so I left that behind. Next, I tried out the tutu skirt. I do think the length is a little bit awkward. Like, I know it's like a midi length, but I kind of wish it was a little bit shorter. But I did end up picking it up anyways and just thought I would play around with styling it. Moving on, here we have the Parasuco sweater. It was definitely like a very warm and chunky knit, but it wasn't really a style that I was obsessed with. I didn't think I really needed this piece. It also kind of felt like a dad sweater for some reason. Here's the black suede jacket. Definitely a good fit. I just wasn't really sure I needed it. Like, this wasn't really a jacket out of the ordinary. I feel like I could find a black kind of suede jacket anytime. And so I moved on to the blazer. I liked the style of this, but it was mostly the fact that it was all one color and the corset kind of fastening at the front that really caught my attention. This jacket I did end up picking up. I actually just returned it yesterday. I needed some time to think about it. I liked it, but I wasn't really sure I loved it, and so for me that wasn't good enough. I just don't have enough space to keep pieces like that, so we move on. I definitely did not end up loving the fit of this blazer, so that was kind of a very quick no. And we moved on to the purses, which there were plenty to go through. I really like this Coach one. I thought the colors were just stunning. It was literally in perfect condition. I think someone must have bought it or received it and literally never used it. However, it was $40 and I just have so many purses. We'll see if I regret that later. This purse I was obsessed with. It's 9 West vintage, it's tweed, it has the flower, it has everything I was looking for. I think I have to do it. I love her. And it's by 9 West vintage. Can you tell I'm obsessed? I was obsessed. And then I also found this really sweet Guess bag, which I showed in my shorts video and you guys loved it. It's honestly an iconic purse, and I'll be honest, I didn't end up picking it up because I picked up the 9 West one. It was more my style, but the heart metal rhinestone logo on the front and just the overall shape and condition of this bag was seriously just everything. And finally, let's talk about the shoes that I found, because we cannot skip over this. These Adidas shoes were literally a dream. I was so upset that they were not my size. These shoes were not my size either, but I was a little bit less upset about them. They didn't quite compare to the Adidas. I like the kind of lace-up detail they have, but the other ones were just so much cooler. I love that they were a bit more sporty, and that was pretty much it. I finally went to check out and headed home with my amazing haul. I'll see you guys with another video very soon. We're gonna have to do a try on thrift haul from all my recent Thrift With Me's, so be sure to like and subscribe so that you see when that comes out, and I'll see you next time.